What's up, nerds? I'm Wes.
I'm Tom.
And I'm Aaron.
Today we're taking a look at Black Angel by Pearl Games.
Black Angel is, I've heard, from the same designers as what I heard is Troyes. Except I think it's the game that's spelled Troyes, but they say it's pronounced Troyes.
Troyes?
That's what I kept. They were like, "Oh, it's the same designers of Troyes." I'm like, I heard it was the same designers of Troyes, and they said same thing, and I said that can't be. That can't be. What? Unless it's just like that's like the American spelling. So it is. For us, it's pronounced Troyes, but there's in some places it's pronounced Troyes. But I remember I was sitting with somebody. I said, "So Troyes?" They said yes. They said Troyes. What did I say?
Troyes.
Okay, Troyes. And they said yes. And I said, and that's pronounced Troyes. And they were like, yes. I'm like, you're messing with me.
So in Black Angel, you'll be spending dice to do actions. And those actions are a wide variety of things. You're going to be moving your robots around to get you to unlock more dice in future rounds or different dice. You can use them to fight off the Ravagers. You can use them to clean up damage that's happening to the Black Angel because we're all flying around on the ship together. So as the Ravagers attack, they're doing damage. So we're going to clean up the damage. We're going to clean up the Ravagers. You can use it to get new activation tiles that go onto your player board. You can spend the dice to move out into space with send your robots on little spaceships out there to do missions on the different planets and collect resources from doing that. There's a whole bunch to do.
There is a lot going on, but it is so thematically. I think it is like this is the last ship of humanity or whatever, and we're flying off to a new home planet. Actually, it's that planet right there.
This little planet.
What? There's a bigger one.
But the little one is representative of it.
Yeah. So we're trying to get to the home planet, and as we're flying, there's like some aliens who want to come and eat us or something. So we're all working on the ship. Whoever does a better job gets, I don't know, more grain when we get to the planet. I don't know. But it is interesting though that there are kind of like two boards, but this board is the ship flying through space, and that board is just a zoom in on the head of the Black Angel. It works out really well. And if you the first time when I was trying to learn the rules, I was just watching a video of somebody who I'm not gonna say who, but was not explaining it like that. I didn't get that at first, and I was like, what is going on? Yeah, I was like, what is going on here? But once you do that, like this is just a zoomed in of here, and these actions. And also, you said there's a lot of, but in terms of the actions that you spend your dice on, there's
spaceships, damage.
Four.
Yeah,
there's four different things.
Six, but three of them are the same.
Yeah.
It's just each of those things triggers a long list of things, and therein lies the complexity in just the bookkeeping.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. And even so, going back to this ship, like you've got your little robot ships that are launching out, and like our player boards also match up to this. Like these can overlay on top of it. So you even think like, well, this right here is my deck, just above or below. And so then I put my little robot on the ship, and then when he flies out
from
the ship. Like, I don't know, that was really cool.
Mm-hmm. It was a good way to get to initially wrap your head around the concepts of a pretty big game.
Yeah, because I think when I first saw it, it was like, oh, so there's two different games going on simultaneously almost. It looks like if you're just watching someone else play it, you don't know what it is. That's kind of what it looks like.
Yeah.
I'm just going to start with the damage. So when you're cleaning up damage, you're going to take the damage off of the board from different spots, because if there's a lot of damage out there, it's going to be reducing the die values when you take action. So like this action space, if the bunch of Ravagers are here, they've damaged it a lot, and now when you go there, it takes one value away from the die that you use. So you want to clean it up. So if I were to take an action to clean up the damage and remove it, I bring it to my player board, I can put them on my tiles that I have and take some bonus actions from that, or I can just store them up, and you can use them to flip the value of a die. So if you have a 1 in your pool, you could flip that over to a 3 and have a more powerful action with it because you've got the damage tokens to do it.
So somebody told me once that this was a co-op game, and that is not true. Thematically, it's co-op because there's damage, and there's also the Ravengers. Ravengers will come, and they're like cards of negative things you have. The card goes on top of an action, and it's a negative thing you have to do prior to taking that action if you want to take that action. But there is an action that you can take which wipes those cards away. So you may be thinking, oh, Aaron wants to do this action and there's Ravagers there. If I go and clear off that card, I'm helping him. And really you're not, because you want to clear those cards off.
Yeah.
You want to clear the damage off. Because those cards, the Ravager cards, when you get them, those are wilds for activating these tiles on your board. You have, like Aaron said, you have a bunch of tiles on this board, and throughout the game you can be adding more of them. There are little bonus actions that you can get to trigger at the beginning of the round, and the Ravager cards are really good for that because there is a lot of color matching in this game. And I know I'm just kind of rambling here, but I'm just feeling on a roll. I've had a lot of Mountain Dew. I want to do this. I want to just make this happen, So in theory, I could play a yellow card on my board, which triggers all the yellow tiles here to start. And then I go and take an action. Well, I need to take this yellow dice and place it in one of these 2 yellow dice action spots. And then let's say I want to, move a ship. I move a ship over here to a yellow spot on this board so I can play another yellow card here. And it could be another action card, which, this has a really cool ability where I can spend some stuff to get points, right? Okay, so in order to take that action, I need to spend a yellow die! Oh, because I took a yellow action, I will draw a yellow card. There's so much color matching, but like I said, you want to do everything, and those things are spread out amongst the different amongst the different colors, so you want to have a lot of every color,
Yeah.
Yeah, but a lot of things you do, like, the card is gone. Like, on your turn, you could spend 2 or 3 cards and then draw 1 card. So, like, you want to make sure that you're doing things to get you more cards, because having, like, a handful of cards is so powerful in this game because you have options. You can be so limited to, like, I can do this, and I can fly over here, and I can build a building. This is the only card I have that I could build there right now, though, and maybe it's not good right now. Or maybe I'm trying to figure out, do I want to play this card down here to activate these things to let me go do stuff, or do I want to play it as a building? So there's a lot of trying to match up, like, what do I have that can work together? Like, maybe I don't want to do that yellow die here. Maybe I want to do a green die and build this green building so I can use this yellow card over here.
Yeah, and with the buildings, per se, when you build them out there, whoever built them will put a robot on there to mark that they've built it, and that robot will come from the center.
They kind of get a little bit of reward when they do that.
Some victory points. And then the ship that they use to fly out there will park on that card, and there's one other space, so another player could come park in there, or you could, like, leave and the 2 players could come in there. And then once that card falls off, like, way past,
there's 2 types of cards. One, like I said earlier, you take an action to do, and the other one you want it to fall off.
Yeah, there's, like, basically when it falls off, you get bonuses. So whoever made the place can get a bonus, and then whoever is parked on it can get a bonus. So, like, there's this incentive to, like, kind of just fly back, drop off a planet, throw a ship on there. Maybe, one of the other players will throw a ship on there too. As we advance the Black Angel, we get further away from it. It falls off into space, and then we get rewarded for having robots on there. But we lose them, and they come back to your, like, general supply, and then you're going to have to take an action to get more robots back into here so that you can trigger this all over again. So it's, like, just this, like, cycle of, like, okay, I need robots. I'm going to send them out on missions. We're going to lose them. We don't care about losing robots because we're humans.
But also, you need robots to go out here and do all this stuff, but robots also control how many dice you get during your reset round. So if you have all your robots are off in space, like, getting cool stuff and resources, you're not going to get any dice, and then you're going to get locked out and you can't do anything. So you definitely want to have some robots over here as well, but also the dice are really limited. So if I have too many robots getting dice, I may not actually get to collect those dice because somebody else took a reset right before me and they took out all the, 3 of the green dice. There's only 1 left, and I have 3 robots here. Well, I'm still only going to get the 1 dice. So there's so much, like, balancing where you're committing your resources.
And also with that, you can even manipulate that. Because it's not rounds. I can choose to go to my reset round, as you said, the sequence B, whenever. So you could be like, all right, I'm going to lose a point to go now. I'm going to lose a point to go now. Oh no, I have to go to sequence B on my turn, and there's no dice left for me.
Yeah.
There's one more resource, which is the diamonds.
Yeah.
Which are really cool because you start with some, and then there's ways to earn them. and when you can spend them for some of the action cards to like get victory points, or you can give that to another player to steal one of their die and use it as your activation. You don't get you can't like manipulate it with any of your damage cubes or anything, but you get to use it. And now because I used it and I gave Tom a diamond, he could use that diamond to steal one back from me, or steal from Wes, or on a later turn steal from me. So like I really like that like
they don't go away, really,
unless you spend them for actions.
Right, but
if
the
I'm
act of
stealing
stealing
from you,
isn't. Yeah,
it's saying I'm going to steal from you, but now you get to steal from somebody too if you want.
Yeah,
so
yeah,
that's a really cool concept
it's
of
like a trade.
Yeah, you're trading. Like, here's a really valuable resource, but I'm taking this action from you.
Yeah.
I thought that was like not like a catch-up mechanism, but it helped with like if you had a bad roll and you're like, oh man, Tom's got a nice 3 over there. I'm going to take it from him, and maybe I'll have a really good roll later that he's going to steal from me, because you can't like lock everything in. You can also use the diamonds to lock one die in that nobody can steal, but like they're always like out there, the rest of your dice that people can steal. So it's like you just got to hope that they're not going to steal from you. I really enjoy the mission cards like falling off the end. I thought that was like one of the
because if
the
they were
concepts I
all
liked.
actions, it would be like ugh.
Well, because the actions you want to have as far in front of you as possible, because you want them to be out there and available as much. But the other ones you want to drop off soon.
So
But if I've got all my ships up here building action posts, that ship is going to have a harder time getting all the way back here to hop onto those bases that are then going to fall off. So you want to really like balance where you're going and stuff with all that.
Yeah.
Now, so we're talking about dice and we're talking about cards. It is. We are aware that this game has thus far been getting somewhat mixed reviews. Some people like it, some people don't. And what I want to say is I've heard a couple of criticisms that I think have some validity to them, and the main thing that I want to say is that I heard somebody say that there was an awful lot of random. And I was like, well, I mean, there's dice, but you can manipulate the dice. But the thing is, really, it is a big game for all of your actions to be hinging on dice. You could have bad rolls, and there is manipulation, but it's not perfect. But I think the dice are almost a red herring in terms of how much randomness there is in this game, when really it's the cards.
Yes.
You could just top deck some great cards. There are some cards that just when they fall off, they just straight up give you points. It might not be...
Or give you robots. There's one that gives you 3 robots if you planted it, and 3 robots if your ship's on there. So you can get 6 robots, which can give you a lot more actions. Or
I don't remember what color it was in. Maybe it was in green. Okay, we shouldn't make
3 points and 3 points.
Aaron, I told you not to. No, it's not this. It's this one right here. Yellow. It's 1 point when you play it, right? And it becomes yours. If you have, there's 2 sides. If you own the card and if you have a ship there, when it falls off, it's 6 points. I played a game where somebody just top decked 2 of those and played 2 back to back, just to top deck. What is that? 14 points like that? That is a huge chunk. Now, okay, granted, he isn't working on his engine, and he does need to be able to play the yellow dice and move or whatever he needs to get to a yellow and move. But, like, look, there's 2 yellows right here next to each other. We just threw this out randomly. It is very possible to just top deck a great engine in the cards, particularly in the fall off thing. All right, this is going to fall off, and it gives me a bunch of diamonds, and I'm going to plant this here, which lets me spend diamonds for points. Boom, 9 points. Like, that is very possible.
It's possible, but how probable is that? Like, how many times do you think you're going to see that happen?
I've seen it. Well, I've seen not that particular thing happen, but I've seen somebody get a really good engine almost every time I've played. Every time I've played. Because it's also like sometimes you just draw the top card. This one will get me points for every card I have tucked. Well, it's the first round of the game. I'm not going to have cards tucked for a long time. Which you could say, all right, sure, well then burn that card to activate these tiles here. And yeah, but like if that's all you're getting is cards that aren't super helpful for you, it can feel like you're just kind of lost, like what am I going to do? What's my strategy? And sure, I can clean up, I can pick up Ravagers and get some cubes and whatever, but still kind of feel like I'm really behind this guy that's just crushing boom, 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 14 points,
Yeah. I see your point. I thought it was a really enjoyable game. Like, but besides, there are points in the game where, like, yeah, this game just was unbalanced.
That one card.
It feels unbalanced in this moment. At least,
But you can jump on there and take 3 points, so it's only a 4-point swing between you and the person who owns it. But yeah, if there's multiple players, then you're going ahead 3, they're going ahead 7. And
and
every
you're
other
just-
player's getting nothing.
And you're like, I got 2 cubes, you know? And there's also just a lot of that bookkeeping. You can totally miss so many steps. Oh, I forgot to put Ravagers out there. We forgot to put tiles out there. And even though you say it, you're like, no, don't forget anything. Make sure you follow it. You're still going to... I saw somebody put out a die, take the whole turn of moving ships, placing cards out there, and then go, oh, that's the wrong color die.
Do you think it's fair to judge a game by user error? Like,
No,
it's not that it wasn't clear.
It's not just user error when it's consistent. When it's that consistent, it is forcing the user to follow this to the T. When a game is this big and it's this much bookkeeping to follow, like you're thinking about all these other turns and all these other things you want to do and how things are going to combo, it's just an easy thing to miss, is what I'm saying.
And I get that. It's easy to get a rule wrong. It's easy to do it wrong. But I'm not going to judge a game wrong because I kept making a mistake.
I'm not saying that it's faulting the game. I'm saying it's just something that can happen. It's
Yeah.
a problem. Like, it's not. I don't even think it's a problem. It's something you just need to know and you need to be watching for.
I
It's
agree with that.
It's the manner in which you need to play the game. Is all right. Did I do this? Yes. Did I do that? Yes. Did I do that? Yes. And some people are probably just not going to like that.
Yeah, because there are some games like this is what happens in this step. And we just kind of all do it simultaneously and we're all helping out. This game is one where you want to go down the list of like order of operations, do all these things. Because like we kept forgetting to like put these tiles out here. Like, we were supposed to have some like there were definitely things that we missed.
Yeah.
Because
And even though I was like, hey guys, remember, it's really easy to miss this stuff. You're like, okay, cool, got it. And then we're like, oh, did we do this? Oh no, we didn't.
You talked a lot about the colors. There's so much like the dice have to match and the cards have to match the planets. I didn't get like any bad feelings from that. I don't. You were talking about it. Like, I think it was when we were
Negatively.
playing. Almost like it sounded like it was a negative for you. How much color matching
It
there
is.
was.
It can be an issue in that it's
If
just
you don't have the colors,
you don't
can't-
have the right color card. You don't have the you know what I mean. Like, ooh, I could be looking at. Ooh, I would really want to do X.
Yeah.
But I don't have the right color dice available. This card isn't the right color. I want to trigger this yellow tile, and then play this yellow card, but I won't be able to do it in that way. And then also the fact that, well, there's the pips on the die too. Okay, I have the right colors, but that's not the right order of magnitude. That I rolled a 0.
Yeah.
Just the fact that there is a 0 when it's the pips on there is the order of magnitude in which you get to do that action, and then there's a 0. I mean, you can manipulate it. And zeros are somewhat useful out here.
Yeah,
it's still just kind of like oh man, they did that. They just threw a gut punch in there.
Yeah, that's rough. I'll give you that. The zero's rough. Overall, I really enjoyed this game.
Yeah.
Like I would definitely be excited to play this game again. All that notwithstanding, and maybe it's partly just because part of my criticism is I found a flaw in the game. This card makes this game bad. That's not me as much. I'm more of like...
Well, I hope you're not characterizing me.
No, I'm not. I'm just saying that, there are people who are going to say, because of this flaw, it's bad.
There are definitely people who are going to say that, yeah.
Overall, the experience playing this game, I had a blast.
It's nice and crunchy. It's not too smooth. It's like a good peanut butter with a little bit of crunch.
I think that the heavy games that are all strategy are, too much for me, because I'm very much the, kind of throw caution to the wind.
But...
I'm just gonna let's try this. Let's see how this goes. And having the dice in there and some of the stars have to align sometimes for things to work out, I think helps me out in games like this.
I have to say, I think I echo your sentiments almost exactly. It has a lot of issues that need to be addressed. It can be frustrating sometimes. I actually do think it is a little long at 4 players. There can be a decent amount of downtime. So I think 3 players is kind of perfect. And if somebody with there's all these criticisms, right? And if somebody was saying, I don't like that, I don't like this, I don't like the color matching, I don't like the randomness of the dice, it's not for me. I would say, understandable, totally fine. I'm not going to argue with you.
Yeah.
But if you can just take those in stride and say, okay, it is what it is, those are the things, and just... take it with a grain of salt, you can have a lot of fun with this game.
Yeah, absolutely. And not to mention, it's beautiful.
Yes.
Looking at this game, I saw it,
it looks a mess right
go
now
to there.
from where you
this
are.
is all...
But the really saturated colors, you've got your robots and their little ships that fly
They
around.
look like Daleks.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you've got nice custom dice. They're not that custom, but they're not just like regular D6s at least.
Yeah, there's a star for a 0.
Just this mechanic of we're flying
Like a
through
treadmill.
hyperspace
The
and
Rick and
we're
Morty.
Goes the other way.
You're going backwards, but
this ship is flying that direction.
Yeah.
in which case this would come in front.
You need more.
Shut up!
What are you
Tom.
doing? It is so late right now.
Production value is not amazing because there are. I mean, and maybe it's because we're in Florida that our boards are warping a little bit.
The cards are. I don't know.
They're
limited.
okay.
Everything could in
not
theory
lemon
be
finish.
better, but like it's. I'd say for me 7.5 to 8 out of 10.
I give it an 8 out of 10 component quality, but I'd recommend you try it out. I would not be dissuaded by people saying, yeah, this game's got a lot of problems. I'd say try it, see how you like it.
Sure, but again, if you're like, no, all those things really bother me and I didn't like the game because of those reasons, I would say, all right, I get it.
Totally get it. I'm not going to change your mind. That's fair.
But I think I can say for all of us, we highly recommend this game. We'll have a link in the description box down below. You should click on it, get yourself a copy, try it out,
And
and
while
sell
you're
it to
down
your
there,
friend.
and while you're down there, don't forget to subscribe to our channel so you'll never have to hear us say this stupid tagline again. Be bored.
What's up, nerds? I'm Wes.
I'm Tom.
And I'm Aaron.
Today we're